Hello, 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 beautiful souls. This is Kate Woodlock, founder of Empowerment Through Spirit and your spiritual transformation guide. How's everybody doing out there? So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the feeling of being stuck in emotional pain and emotional pain keeping you from living your purpose. So emotional pain is really stored on a cellular level for all of us. It's kind of just how our systems work. And every time we get triggered or activated, it's really an opportunity for us to shed old programs and old conditionings and move closer to what it is that we came here to do. If we allow that process to happen. And sometimes we can push our emotional pain and the things we've gone through and the traumas we've endured so deep down in us that when we do get triggered by something, whether it's, something environmental, something at work, a conversation we have with someone, we don't realize that that pain is still there and it can kind of come erupting to the surface. And we're like, oh my God, what is that? Why is this even happening? It can be something cosmic. And we're like, oh my God, I had no idea that was even there. Where is this coming from? It can kind of come as a surprise, that emotional upheaval from being triggered by something that you didn't even realize was a trigger or an activation point in the first place. And it's interesting, this kind of happened to me a little bit in a way. I'm bringing that up because yesterday, I was totally laid up and completely immobilized with a migraine. And that hasn't happened to me in like years. And it's funny because Spirit always has a way of guiding us towards exactly what we need at the time. And sometimes that means deep rest and not moving for a little while, putting us in a place where we're forced to think and reflect on what's been going on and what Spirit has been guiding us towards when we haven't been paying attention. And that's exactly what happened to me. And, I'm very blessed. I have teachers and coaches and mentors to work with. And, I was able to do energy work on myself as well to illuminate the underlying issues and the reasons of why that was coming up for me. Because without that mirror from a third person perspective, from someone else, I know that my brain would totally evade that situation because I was uncomfortable and because I was in pain and I didn't want to be in pain. Nobody likes that feeling of physical pain along with the emotional pain as well. And without those opportunities of illumination, of being able to see things clearly, it can seem like they're coming out of nowhere a lot of the time. And for me, I knew I was laid up because I wasn't listening to those promptings from Spirit to the best of my ability. I wasn't at all. And I was making excuses about not having enough time and not having enough energy, and I was too busy. I was caught up in my own human experience and being stubborn. I was too busy to do this and I was too busy to do that, and I'll do it tomorrow and I'll put it off. And I was ignoring the guidance that Source was leading me towards. And it was for my own highest good. And I knew that, I was being stubborn, even though I knew what I was being led towards would make my life better in so many ways, but I ignored it anyway. And I was stubborn and I sunk my heels in and I was like, I'll do it later. Not yet, not now. And that's why today I wanted to share how important it is to go inward into yourselves and ask yourselves the real questions, those deep questions. Are you following your internal guidance? Are you living according to the blueprint that you came here with? Are you fulfilling the purpose that you originally decided that you came here for? Are you aware of your emotions and what they're telling you? Or are you justifying them and making excuses for your own emotions or the emotions and the behaviors of others? Are you triggered by your environment or by the emotions of others, of the things that happen around you? Or are you recognizing that this is a call from Source to step it up and get moving? All of those emotional things, all of the uncomfortabilities that happen in life, when you're in emotional pain, are you recognizing that that is a prompting from Spirit and of Source to be a part of the change, to get moving? We have all been here before in one form or another, in many forms before. We've all been here together, and we're here together now to be a part of the shift. That's why you're here in this group. That's why we're all here together in this life. And the time is now to figure out what these messages in your life are and how to have the courage to follow them with what you're being asked to do. It's about, following that internal guidance and deciphering what it means and putting one foot in front of the other to figure out where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do with it, because you have that inner compass and that navigational system. It's about having the courage to follow it and not feel judged by others and own it. Own it that it's your path and that you can follow it, and that that is the path to true joy and peace in life. And, sometimes it's really hard to do alone. That's why I still have mentors and coaches and teachers, to mirror back to me what's actually going on from a third person perspective. So I don't get, too caught up in my own mind, so that other people can reflect back to me my own thoughts and experiences and things like that. So I can see on a higher level and be able to do the same thing for my clients and for you guys. So people can reflect back to me from a place of unconditional love, not to tell me what's wrong with me, but to tell me what's right and what I'm doing right, that I am on the right path, to encourage me. And that's exactly what I do for you guys and what I do for my clients. But I can't do that, and no mentor and teacher can do that if you're not taking ownership and responsibility for yourself. If you're not showing up for you, then I can't do that. That's one of the biggest things. You have to take ownership and responsibility for yourself. We are here to be bridges and connections of heaven and of earth in physical form, which is like one of the most amazing things in our lives. So my challenge to you is to really look inward into yourselves, to really look deeply, and decide if this is your time, if the time is now for you, or if you want to keep staying in that emotional pain and making excuses trying to evade it. Are you going to let it keep you from your purpose? Because really, it's just pain. Pain always passes. It's meant to get you moving. Pain is a prompting to create change. And at some point, spirit is going to step in, no matter how comfortable you are, no matter how many excuses you have, or where you are in your life. Spirit's going to step in at some point and help create situations where you have to change. So you can either sit around and let that happen, or you can decide to change, and you can decide to do it today. Because you were meant for something so much more. You were meant for something so much bigger. You were meant for incredible things in this life. And there's a huge paradigm shift happening on the planet right now, and we all have a huge role to play. That's why we're here in the blooming of this process on the planet right now. And I want to help you create that, but I can't if you're not taking the first steps for yourself. You are all incredibly powerful creators. If you make up your mind and set your intention on creating your own journey as one of true purpose, one that's connected to source and to spirit and to yourself, it will absolutely happen. There's no way that it won't. Again, we are meant to be a bridge, a connection between heaven and of earth. And our body is the physical connection of that if we allow that energy to move through our physical bodies. And we do that by removing those layers and the surface pain and the conditioning of being human, basically, thinking that we're being judged, or that there's something wrong with us, or that we're not worthy of giving and receiving love at the highest level. All of those things that we've learned throughout the course of being human from the traumas that we've endured, letting all of those things go so that we can be open vessels to give and receive love, and allowing energy to move through our bodies, so that we can live our most joyful lives, and that we can spread more light to create a ripple effect on the planet. Because when we're living our best lives and at our highest potential, and when we are most joyful in ourselves, we're having a huge impact on the planet as a whole. So when you're not living your happiest, best life, you're doing a disservice to humanity. You should be living the most incredible life, because that's when the planet shifts, and that's when you shift the people around you, and that's when you can heal everything and everyone around you. So I am inviting you to listen to that internal guidance system that you have, that we all have, to really go in deep and to tap into it and to feel into it and see what source is saying to you, and to book a call with me. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help you. I'm not helping you if I'm letting you ignore how incredible you are. You guys are all incredible souls in human form, and I refuse to sit around and let you guys ignore how amazing you are. You are powerful creators, powerful beyond measure, and running around struggling at a job that you don't like, making ends meet, in relationships that aren't serving you, being comfortable enough in your human experience, but not really living your passions and not enjoying it, not allowing your passions and that fire in you to bloom and flourish at the level it's meant to, is so sad, and it's a disservice to yourselves and to the planet and to humanity. So I'm really asking you, to make that connection and discover what step you're being asked to take that you've been putting off. What excuses have you been making? Saying, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy, maybe tomorrow. What have you been asked to do that you've been putting off? What's your passion? What's your mission? What's your purpose? And I'm not talking about, the big house and the job. Why are you here? Are you here to spread light? Are you here to be a teacher and a mentor? What are you here for? Because we all have that inner blueprint, and we are all here to raise the vibration of the planet. And we can do it together. Absolutely. That's why we are all here. And change is where your power is. Although change is uncomfortable, that's where our power is. Change is really only uncomfortable when you're not on board with it. But when you're not sinking your heels in, change is beautiful. And that's where the most power comes from. And we can be authors of change. You can create whatever change in your life you want. And it is so important to follow through with what spirit is prompting you to do. If something showed up in your life and you're getting those little messages and those little pings and that feeling in your gut, like, I feel like I'm supposed to do this, I'm telling you right now, that's your path. That's what you're supposed to do. Those things would not be showing up in your life if that's not something that was supposed to be part of your reality. You can't run away from it. You can try to evade it a little bit here and there, but it's going to keep showing up, and you're going to come back to square one, and until you get the message and until you decide to take that step and follow your path. Your time is now. Do it today. The pain of regret far outweighs the pain of risk every single time. And I'm telling you right now, you don't want to wait 10, 20 years or be at the end of your life looking back saying, I wish I did that. I wish I lived my purpose. I wish I knew how happy I could have been if I listened to my own internal guidance and I listened to my spirit years ago. Because you can do it today. You can do that now. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's why you're here watching this video. That's why you're in this group. That's why you are part of the change. You just have to take ownership of yourself and decide to take that first step, that first leap of faith. So I am always here for you to help you illuminate your path and get clarity on your messages, because I know that can sometimes feel a little bit strange. So if you're ready to step it up and be part of the change, to own it, to own who you are and live that joyful, amazing life that you deserve and that you were always meant for, shoot me a PM. Let's get in touch. Let's set up a complimentary synergy session. I will get you the same amazing results that I get my clients, and I would love to work with you too. So Chantel, yes, own it. Own your path, own yourself, and own your connection to source and spirit, and let it flow through you. Look deeply inward. Hi, Kim. How you doing? All right. So does anybody else have any comments or questions? Thank you so much for joining me, ladies. You're so welcome, Chantel. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me. I love you all with my whole heart, and I will see you in the next video.